Good day to all my guys and goddesses, kings and queens, princes and princesses, bitches and bitches. Can't forget about them. I will never forget about them. It's levels. I keep telling you that. Anywho, how y'all doing on today? Now, I came with an inspiring word for today. I was actually inspired by one of my ancestors. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all seen that movie Harriet. Harriet. That movie, a beautiful movie. It really touched me. It touched me in ways that I can't even explain. I never seen the movie before. And if you haven't seen it, you should go see it. First off, I want to start by saying, don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. The reason why people do this and put their project their fears onto you is because they couldn't do it themselves. And some people are jealous. Some people are like, oh, I couldn't do it, so I know you couldn't do it, or you can't do it. That's not true. That's not true at all. Always go with what your heart is telling you to do. Don't let nobody, even the moment that they say that you can't do something, nip that into the bud. And I thought of the Bible scripture, I can do all things. I can do all things. So therefore, they cannot tell you what you cannot do, especially if you feel it within your core, within your soul, within your spirit, within your own self, that you can do it. Then you can do it. Do not stop letting people tell you what you cannot do. They just mad that you were chosen to do it too. That rhyme. But what I mostly enjoyed about this movie, and it's like it was even levels to her. It was so amazing. What they constantly kept telling her what she could not do. And she went to accomplish so much. Her being a woman, first of all, because nowadays they just down women and what they say. Even when we're in relationships, you have a person, or you have a man, or you have a husband, or you have a spouse, or whatever. Because if it was a soulmate, if it was truly supposed to be together, they would listen to you and there would be no problems. It's plenty of times that I have even told my exes, like, oh, don't do that, don't do this. And they went along and did it anyway and ended up going to jail or ended up fighting or doing something when I had advised them, because I ain't go off or nothing. It's just advised. I advised them, like, I don't think you should do that. And they like, fuck what she talking about. Fuck what she talking about. I'm going to do what I want to do. And the turnout ended up not being, cupcakes and rainbows or whatever. It ended up not being a good turnout. Half of the time they end up in jail. And then they want you to help them when they end up in jail. So anyway, even in relationships, when you're telling your spouse or your partner, like, don't do something, and they end up doing it anyway. But what I most enjoyed about this movie is that things, because she ran away on her own. On her first trip, she left everybody, her family, her husband. She didn't have no children. She just, her mom and dad, her sister, she just upped and left. Because she had visions. She had profitable visions. And she knew that she was going to get sold before they even came to get her. I love that Harriet, first of all, how she prayed and how God revealed things to her and how she would go into this trance when God was revealing things to her. And it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful movie. And even when she came back the second time to help her family, her brothers and them, and it also reminded me in the Bible of Joseph. When Joseph's brothers did not respect him and they didn't like him because he was like the chosen child and all of that. He had 8 other brothers, half brothers, because the brothers was not the mother biological sons. But it put me in the mind of Joseph, and try to stay with me on this. It put me in the mind of Joseph when they sold him and how his journey became so victorious to where when the brothers finally, when his past caught back up to him and the brothers came to get food because of the famine. I think I'm saying that right. The famine, when they had ran out of food and stuff, because Joseph predicted it, because he was a prophet and his dreams was prophet. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, they didn't even recognize him. So when Harriet came back, she was all did up too. They did not recognize Harriet and who she was because she had been taught so much. And another thing, because I know I said big on reading, and that's why it's you to learn and unlearn. Just because you don't know how to read don't mean that you're stupid. It just doesn't. Harriet Tubman did not know how to read. She relied strictly on God's voice and the vision in which God sent to her. She didn't know how to read. And people kept trying to throw that up in her face too. Do you know how to read, Harriet? You're going to go back to help your family, but do you know how to read? Do you know how to do this? And she became free, not because she knew how to read, because she took a chance. And she took a chance to go back and get her family. And like I was saying, even when her family or the people she was with tried to doubt her when she was crossing the river, because they thought they were going to die. The same, like, it's so many stories that touch this. Even with Moses, the people didn't want to cross the river until they seen the splitting of the sea. But anyway, back to Harriet. Even when she tried to cross the river, the brother was giving her a lot of mouth, like, y'all just follow me. He like, y'all just follow me, I'll show y'all the way. He ain't even, if he would have went that way, he would have surely died. But she went first to try to prove herself to them that she knew what she was talking about. And sometimes we try to prove ourselves to people who don't know what they're talking about. But they try to down you because you achieved something, or you got to where you are because the chances that you took. And they like, damn, I got to do this too. Everybody wants to be on top, but nobody wants to do the work. And don't nobody want to listen to somebody who already has been through it. They figure, oh, I can do it too, but haven't done the work. It's a lot of things I'm trying to say right now. Don't let nobody tell you what you can and cannot do. Don't let people, just because you in a certain place in your life, or they see you in a certain light, tell you that you don't know what you're talking about, and you got to where you are because of the chances that you took and the experiences that you had or have. A lot of people don't like to listen, but it's not for them to listen. They go through their life journey just like you do. Everybody don't have to listen. Everybody genetic makeup is not the same. Everybody is not like you. Everybody is not loyal. Everybody is... You went through your life experiences for a reason, just like they went through their life experiences for a reason. But don't tell nobody what they can or cannot do. And don't let them tell you. And don't let them tell you what you can and cannot do. Because you can do all things. And if they feel that way, either you don't have to fight your case. Sometimes you just gotta go on through life and show them. And not to prove it to them, but to prove it to yourself. Because people can't keep telling you what you can and cannot do. Believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. Know that you are one of a kind. And God have you here for a specific reason. Some people ready to fulfill that, and some people aren't. Harriet was one of them. And I'm happy I watched it. I teared up. It was a beautiful movie. It was a beautiful movie, and I encourage y'all to go watch it. This is the first movie that I didn't see him beating up on slaves, and she was really empowered. She was they did beat her husband ass, who ended up getting married to somebody. That's a whole nother story. I'm not even going. Anyway, go watch the movie. And I hope y'all have a prosperous day. And be the best you that you can be, because that's the only way you'll prosper. Is being the best you that you can be, not being concerned about other people or what they can and cannot do, letting everything just flow the way it should without trying to be controlling. So, enjoy your day. Have a prosperous day. Deuce, deuce. Kiss, kiss. Talk to you soon.